Hi everyone, this is Dave. I hope you're okay. This is part 2 of the series that I've just called Reflections. Have a look at part 1, it's in the description. And today is reflecting on how the last 2 to 3 years has affected me personally. So, you know, I've got to start with the main event for me personally in the last couple of years. You know, obviously the most traumatic event of my life so far, which was the passing of my dad. I know that I've talked a lot about this subject on the channel before, but the first thing to say is that, you know, there's a reason why my #1 value in life is truth, why I'm so passionate about truth. And you know, that's because my dad died as a result of a lie, and not just any lie, you know, and I incomprehensibly massive, malignant, evil lie, despicable lie that has claimed many victims. And because of that clarity around the pursuit of, the unearthing of, and the embracing of truth, it's led me into some dark places, but it's also made me understand how much resolve, resilience and courage that I've got, that I do have. And I can now confidently say that in comparison to the vast majority of people, for all my faults, I really do. I mean, it's worth repeating again, just to try to encapsulate what's gone on in the last couple of years. And again, this is what I'm talking here is primarily just related to my own personal experience, but I'm hoping that many of you will understand and relate and resonate with aspects of it. I just want to say as well, stick around to the end of the video, because I do have a favour to ask of anyone who's watching this. Don't worry, I'm not asking for money or anything like that, but stick around and I'll explain at the very end of the video. So yeah, we rewind back to February, March 2020, and we were told that we were facing this dire threat, and most of us believed it. And then luckily enough of us attuned our gut instinct told us that something wasn't quite right. We started asking a few basic questions, and we quickly realised that things didn't add up, and quickly realised that not only did things not add up, but that we were being lied to on a monstrous scale. And what happened then was interesting. It was a kind of like a motley crew collection of people from all different walks of life, backgrounds, religions, countries, races. They all looked different, they all sounded different, they all had different stories, they all had different beliefs, political beliefs, religious beliefs, societal beliefs, whatever. But they all just got it. And we were all thrust together. And there weren't many of us, because we could see the lie. And then we started to ask ourselves, well, I did, and I'm sure you did as well, why could we see and they couldn't? And why only a few of us could see? Why? So we set about doing everything that we could to raise awareness amongst our fellow, you know, men and women, family, friends, neighbours, colleagues, with at first very little luck. You know, we were shunned, ostracised, vilified, told to shut up. You know, we were going on about it all the time, blah blah blah, all the rest of it, excluded. You know, told we were conspiracy theorists, cranks, or you know, you know the drill. Not many people call us that now, though, do they? And people from, as I say, a whole different range of people who didn't know each other were united just with one thing, united against a lie, because they could see, and it wasn't just any lie, it was the biggest lie that's ever been told, and they could see what was about to unfold if the people who could see the lie didn't take action. And that meant spreading the word, organising on the ground, forming local communities, pushing back, civil disobedience, non-compliance, setting up different groups to mobilise and to spread the word and to be leaders. And it's interesting when you look around, you can't actually tell just from looking at somebody who, it's a lovely view just behind there, who's a lion and who's a sheep. You can't, you really can't, because, you know, in the course of the last couple of years I've seen fellas 3 times as big as me, you know, covered in tattoos, who were, when asked to wear a rag over their face when entering a supermarket, dutifully do it. And I've seen little old ladies, you know, who are half the size of me and who are doddery and frail, but who know, who get it, and who have got more nous and backbone and bravery in their little finger than the aforementioned, you know, 6'6" muscular gymhead. So leaders and lions come in all various different shapes and sizes. And as time went on and the situation became more and more and more unhinged and deranged, we slowly began to wake people up, very slowly. But the masses became, they headed into a deeper and deeper and deeper hypnosis as they believed what they were told, that there was only one way back to normality. And we all know what that was, the jab, which, you know, David Icke, problem, reaction, solution. The solution was the jab. Reaction was the lockdown. Problem was the, whatever it was, COVID-19, whatever that was. So that meant that we had months and months and months before the vaccine rollout, where effectively we weren't really able to wake up that many more people, but we knew that that, of course, wasn't going to spell the bringing back of normality, and that the only thing that would return us to some type of normality would be enough people to wake up, which they did when they realised that the lies they were told, well, when they realised the lies they were told, because normality didn't return after the vulnerable had been jabbed. It didn't return after 1, after 2. It returned when there was enough people who opened their eyes, and we reached a critical mass of people to finally bring an end to most of this madness. The umbrella of problems is still hanging over us like a dark cloud, but the COVID shit show was eventually brought to an end. Sorry, I keep swapping angles here. I've lost yet another selfie stick, honestly. Don't know what it is with me and losing selfie sticks. I'm breaking them. And in the middle of all that, you know, my dad, despite my, you know, desperate attempts to at least consider what I was saying about the efficacy and safety of the jab, took a third one and it killed him. As I've remarked before, you know the story by now. You know, he didn't pay attention to any of the bullshit rules. He mixed with whoever he wanted. He did whatever he wanted. But he did believe he was doing the right thing and taking the jab. He was at that age, really, and thought that the information he was getting was trustworthy. So to watch, I think one of the things that a lot of us have struggled with over the last couple of years is that we've not been able to figure out why our family and friends haven't looked at us and listened to us and thought to themselves, well, there's been such a dramatic change in the way that they are interacting with this situation. There is such a passion behind what they're saying, and they are committing their whole life to what they think is right, that they didn't think they must be worth listening to. We were looking round at many of our friends, family, colleagues, and we were wondering why they weren't taking us seriously, why they wouldn't at least listen to us, especially when we had calm, reasoned logic. And as time went on, and we did, but as time went on, when that calm, reasoned logic wasn't responded to with calm, reasoned logic, but with name calling, and this wasn't my dad, by the way, he wasn't like that at all. But a lot of people were name calling, making fun of, you know, vilification, or even worse in other countries than it's been here, or just worse, just ignoring. I'm being told that we were going on about it all the time, and that we were the ones who were brainwashed and things like this. Well, I think a lot of us started to almost lose hope in humanity, and our faith in people's ability to be able to, you know, just act like human beings. So we started, some of us, to get quite cross and angry. And I know that we all did, because we were watching a mass psychosis take place right in front of our very eyes. This is one of the reasons why I've said before, when it comes to any topic, and I really do mean anything, I'm open to. I usually reach a decision, but I'm not particularly. I've never been in a situation in my life where I've been 100% sure that I'm right, ever, about anything, until this came along. Because not only was I able to logically process it, spot the contradictions, the hypocrisy, the lies, the things that didn't make sense, but it just spoke to me on the deepest possible level that something was very, very wrong. I've never felt that before, ever. Even with the Brexit thing that had dragged on for a few years before, which disgusted me, how many people there still are actually in this country who attempted to sabotage that vote and to stick two fingers up to anyone who voted for Brexit. That was despicable, but it didn't smack of pure evil. It smacked of a subsection of society who were infantile and who were spoilt and churlish and pathetic. But this was drawing out evil in people. I was seeing it darken their souls and blacken their hearts, and I struggled to cope with that. And I've said all along, I am far from perfect. You know, I give you a list as long as my arm of all the things that I need to improve on. But those basic traits of being human, of being able to listen to someone without vilifying them, of wanting to hug someone, of wanting to see someone, you know, of wanting to protect basic human rights, of all the things that we've talked about before. I saw a complete removal of empathy, and a complete removal of morality, and a complete removal of critical thinking, of any thinking. And then my dad's death, towards the end of that cycle actually, because by that point a lot of people, enough people, had woken up. And then I think it's worth saying, because I talked at the start about like how the trauma that I've been through, and again, this isn't just me, there's a lot of people, but this video, I'm just telling you my story. I wouldn't usually do a video like this, but the incomprehensible trauma, right, that I've been through in the last couple of years, culminating, and the last 6 months after the last couple of years, where I saw a lie. I saw the potential that it had to kill a lot of people. I tried to protect as many people as I could, particularly those close to me. I took a stand. I didn't care what people said about me. It hurt, and it made me feel isolated and seriously depressed. But it was too important. I was willing to literally put my life on the line. I was. And then that lie that you've dedicated your life to, you've sacrificed almost your sanity for, certainly your well-being, your mental well-being, on behalf of other people, because I was at the nous and cleverness enough. I was clever enough to see it early, so I wasn't doing it for me. That lie then takes one of the people closest to you, and then in a sudden and shocking and horrendous way, and then you have to deal with that. And even worse, you then have to deal with the continuing lack of empathy around people not, I've talked about this, not acknowledging what happened. No respect for a person's life and how they died. No admission that what we said, it was the cause that had been proven. And no basic decency in just saying that was terrible, that the jab caused your dad's death. That's all we needed. No, none of that from most people. So to say that my faith in human nature is being tested beyond its limits is an understatement. It's an understatement of biblical proportions, because my faith in human nature has not been restored. I see things that give me hope and optimism, and I will continue for the people who I know are out there, who do have some modicum of respect for human rights and understand that other people's rights, particularly children's, are our responsibility. I'll continue to do these videos. I've written my book, and for that reason, but I'll also continue to do it for me, because I'm worthy. I'm in memory of my dad. Something else to say is that whilst the COVID thing is over, and I think it is now, it's not over in terms of justice and accountability, but it's over in terms of the coercion and the lockdowns and jabs and all the rest of it fly on me. As I said before, there is a whole umbrella of other problems, like a dark cloud gathering, primarily, well, anyone who's paying attention, you know, to the bigger picture, to the meta-narratives will know what it is. But just to summarise, you know, one world government, social credit system, you know, digital currency, carbon credit scores, seizure of property rights, restrictions on ability to travel, transhumanism, blah 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 blah. It's as scary as you can possibly imagine it, and they tell us. Now, I don't go into all of the conspiracy. I'm interested in it, but it's not my niche, but I'm aware of it. But that's where it's going, and that's all underpinned by economic collapse. You know, collapse the economy to such an extent that people beg to be saved, and then they'll accept whatever, whoever, the knight in shining armour, whoever that is, their government, the World Economic Forum, whatever, whoever it is who steps in with the solution. But there will be a caveat, a serious caveat. You must surrender your right to free speech, your right to protest, your right to own property, your right to run your own business. But we will keep you safe. So that's where we're at now. Now, as I remarked yesterday, I'm optimistic in that we have enough people now who are awake. Too slow to wake up, absolutely. History's not going to look back very favourably at all, but we are where we are, and we're in a better place in terms of awareness than we were 6 months, let alone 12 months, and certainly 18 months ago. People now see the emperor's got no clothes, and they see this lie. Frustrating thing is, for me, is I've made sacrifices, and my what's the word I want to use? Not love, respect, my longing for, my search, my embracing of truth really is of such magnitude that I will not debase myself by not saying what needs to be said, by agreeing to just go along with something just because it's easier, or using these shit excuses like I've got a mortgage and I've got kids to feed. I won't do that, because when you scratch beneath the surface of those excuses, they are just excuses. They give people an excuse not to take responsibility. But these people, and there are a lot of them, when it comes down to it, if they're still comfortably off and they've got the salary coming in, even though they are now awake, you know, they're at some a level aware of what's going on, and they've realised that people like me were telling the truth all along, or not even telling the truth, exposing the lies. Well, as long as they've got money coming in and they're safe and they pay them more, they will not do, they will continue to bury their heads in the sand and to stand idly by. That's what they'll continue to do. Mark my words, they will. The only thing now where there'll be a mass uprising, mass peaceful uprising, is probably happen next winter when the economic reality bites. Now, I'm included in that category to an extent. Not in terms of I won't do anything, because obviously I have and I am, but in terms of financial situation, which I'll explain in a minute and link it into what I'm talking about. So then you're faced with, not only have we identified this lie and struggled to make people believe it, not only have people we know died as a result of this lie, not only as a result of people dying as a result of this malignant lie, but people still won't acknowledge it. Not only that, but the ones who are supposedly with us, who are awake now, who do see it, you know, won't stand with us. They won't join us in the fight because, again, they're weak and cowardly. And you know, let's say it. If you are, you know, still now working for an organisation and hiding behind the excuse that anything's permissible, no matter how unconscionable it is, as long as it means you've got enough, you know, to keep the mortgage going, or to you know, to put the food on the table, and all these ridiculous excuses are here, and they are, and I've explained why they are. And if anyone wants to challenge me in the comments, then well, I've done another video about that. Because let's face it, there are parents with children who have made the sacrifice, who have stood up and taken the risk. The biggest question of all is, well, at what point do you draw the line? Particularly parents, at what point, surely, if nothing else, to demonstrate to your children that when faced with a bully, you do not bow down. You don't give in to the mob. You do not capitulate to tyranny. So, there's been a mix of emotions for me. All these cows, there we go, just eating the grass on this calm, again cool early summer's evening. Anyway, what was I saying? Talking about cows. What was I talking about before that? Hello. Mixture of emotions for me in the last couple of years: depression, desperation, isolation, grief, turmoil, trauma, with some alongside enlightenment, some spiritual awakening, whatever that is, some insight into the human psyche and human nature. Most of it has been disturbing to the extreme, and I'm hoping that as I go through life, and I will prevail, that I'll start to see what all this was for. Why did I have to go through this? Why did others like me have to go through this? Now, it's all about truth again. So I against my better instincts, actually. I needed to, well, I needed to quit one job and get another job to get more money, because the income coming in is not enough at the moment for me and Sarah. So try as I might to, you know, try and build the YouTube channel and all the little things I've tried to do, they've not worked, and that's fine, because I'll continue to pursue outside interests with regard to building income streams. I do want to completely remove myself from the slave system that's called work, but I can't do it yet, so I had to go back into the system and took a job totally against my better instincts with the civil service. I talked the other day about this. I lasted a matter of hours. I lasted a day and a half. First of all, the job wasn't what it said it would be, but secondly, the propaganda that I was subject to and the normalisation of pretty weird and absurd things like pronouns, and the most upsetting thing of all, the training that we had to do on the second day, which included in praise of the jab rollout. And I just thought to myself, what are you doing, Dave? What are you doing? Don't even think about this. How's it making you feel? And I felt like I let myself down. I did not belong there. Nothing against the people there at all, but the ethos of it, and the fact I was exposing myself to this despicable communist propaganda. So I quit that job. I couldn't do it. And when I say to people, I would rather not live a lie and be out on the streets than have a comfortable life and accept a lie or comply with a lie or propagate a lie. I really mean it. I will put my money where my mouth is. And what really astounds me is that there are so many who've gone to bed for what? 2.5 years. So I mean, that's nearly 1,000 nights. So say they've been awake for, aware of it for like 600 nights. 600 nights of going to bed knowing that they've complied with tyranny, that they've lived a lie. No matter what excuse you can come up with for that. I can't get my head around that. I cannot get my head around it, because I just cannot do it. So, my question to you now is, at the moment, I am applying for other jobs in the private sector, but I really don't know. I feel so maladjusted to this society. It's untrue. In terms of many people and of the institutions and the messaging, the narratives, the propaganda, the claustrophobia. I've always felt it ever since I was very young, that things aren't quite right with the world, and I initially always thought it was me, and I learned as I got older it wasn't me. I'm the same one. This is a seriously messed up world at the moment. And for the reasons that I said before, I can't commit that much of my time to something where I'm exposed to propaganda. Or what I'm saying is, if anyone's got any ideas of anything, job-wise or a business opportunity or anything that you think might be worth me looking into, then let me know. So just stick it in the comments, because I'd really be, I'll listen to any ideas. I'll entertain anything, really. Well, not anything, but you know what I mean. I'm open-minded, and I realise opportunities are out there. I'm just not very good at finding them, but I do need to find something. But I can't compromise myself, because I'll just end up hating myself. Can't do that. So yes, there we go. That is how a summary of the last 2 to 3 years for me and where we're at now. So please, as I say, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you can think of anything at all. Anything you might be doing, anything you know somebody else might be doing, something you've heard of. because it's very, 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 very difficult. Hello, dogs. Very difficult to navigate this world at the moment, at this point in time, where we are traversing two eras. You know, we're undergoing a revolution and a counter-revolution at the same time. There's mass hysteria playing out. Many people are still keeping their heads down, and there's intolerable pressure on the few who are really, really, you know, holding out and standing firm, and I do believe I'm one of them. It's difficult as it is, so I'm strong, I'm resilient. I have bad days, yeah, of course, but I'm resourceful. I know I'll figure a way out, but at the moment I'm just looking for maybe some fresh inspiration, some ideas that maybe I've not thought of myself. So let me know in the comments, and please also anything that's chimed at you in today's video. Also let me know. It's been a long one today, possibly my longest ever video actually. Surprised my arm's not more tired. There's the canal. There's the other side of the canal. Beautiful evening. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening. Appreciate all of your support, everyone. And speak to you soon.